Today I'm going to be taking these 2x2 Zen habitat cages and transforming them into the perfect Tokay breeding enclosure. I'm going to show you guys exactly how I plan to do that. Stick around while we customize these Zen habitat cages to give us the best Tokay breeding season we have ever had. Let's get into it. However, before we can begin, of course, we gotta start taking it apart. So let's get one down and start working on it right now. Let me start this off by saying this is going to be an enclosure built specifically for Tokay breeding. This is not gonna be one of your aesthetically jungle-themed builds that's really cool to look at. However, what I have found over the years, a very pain in the butt to do when breeding animals. No, this isn't gonna be one of those. The first thing that's gonna be the biggest difference is we're actually gonna opt for not using substrate. The main reason for this is because I want to substitute using crickets for lobster roaches. We have a very large colony of lobster roaches now, and overall, the lobster roach is just going to be a much more nutritious and protein-packed meal than your average cricket. So we're actually going to be drilling a hole right on the floor right here. We'll have about a 3/4 pipe. We'll have about a 3/4 pipes in it that's going to drain out, which is why these deluxe spicers are absolutely fantastic. We'll have some sort of water storage reservoir, probably some sort of bin that we can put on the bottom that'll hold all the water that gets trapped when we starts falling out. It can be replaced and so on. This way we can start utilizing the hundreds upon probably thousands of free lobster roaches I have instead of buying crickets that we do pretty much twice a month. Next thing are going to be the hiding holes. Now we've opted to use PVC piping. We got about a 2-inch wide diameter PVC pipes that we're gonna cut up into little hides. What the plan is we're gonna have the hides stacked onto the wall like this right here, right next to the heating area. We're gonna have some sort of basking light right here. That's pretty much all we're gonna do. We're gonna be taking the pothos plants in each of them and hanging them up the front, so we'll have some nice greenery for them to feel a little more secure. Probably angle some cork bark on the bottom in case they don't want to lay their eggs into the PVC pipe, but most of the time I find they love using any type of those little cylinder hides, usually cork bark tubes, but for this time they're going to be PVC tubes, to lay their eggs. So we'll have that so they have a little bit of options, but that's pretty much going to be a very minimalistic, breeding centered area. So they're going to have everything they're going to want to breed, but none of the extra pretty much bells and whistles that makes an enclosure aesthetically pleasing, but a real pain in the butt when it comes to getting eggs, watching eggs, making sure everything's okay, things of that nature. Step on the list is going to be figure out how I want to have these angled. So we've got 3 of these little tubes right here, absolutely the perfect size. Gonna make the Tokay feel nice and snug, but it's still gonna be big enough for the animal to get in. So we're gonna have these angled at a certain way. I'm gonna see how much length I need of this and then start painting it. Alrighty, boys and girls, so you can see I did not have the angle right on that camera, so we did it right here. Pretty much all I did is unroll that bar of the multiple PVC holdings that we have, got it to the desired size, bent it in place. That's going to hold the PVC really well. And alrighty, boys and girls, while we wait for those hangers to dry, because we are painting them with a waterproof acrylic safe paint, we're going to wait for those bad boys. And in the meantime, let's start with the bottom. Like I mentioned, we need some sort of hole to make sure that the water is able to drain out of the area. And so for this one, we are going to be using, I picked up a 1.25 inch size hole drill. So we're gonna do a hole drill right on the bottom, and I bought some PVC piping that we should be able to hammer in. That'll be a little bit of reservoir, so it'll go down in there and then drop, like I said, in some sort of bin inside of these deluxe hanging spacers. Hopefully I bought the right size. I bought a couple different size PVC pipes just to make sure that if one was like too big and one was too small, so we got like 3 different sizes to try out. Hopefully at least one of them is the right one, but only one way to find out, and that's getting this started. Alrighty, and then a 1-2 switcheroo, we get that in, get a quick vape break in, because obviously I need my nicotine. This took me entirely way too fucking long. I could not get this stupid drill bit out. It took me, this is sped up 10 times, my guys. It took me like 10 minutes to get this out. Why do they make it so hard? I finally did it. Boom, good. And then came a second part. I thought I brought the wrong drill bit and it would not work. It finally got on, so we were good to go. Drilled the hole, forgot to film it, so I'm just pretending that I'm drilling it, but I did it beforehand. Very nice stuff. It worked. Look, there's a hole in the floor. Okay, boys and girls, now that we have our hole, we gotta figure out what pipe to use. Now, I'm gonna automatically assume this is gonna not be the one, obviously. We're gonna have to use, okay, well, hang. Fuck. What to do? Don't you just hate it when you put a hole in your, just straight up put a hole in your tank and now you don't know what to do with it? Yeah, me too. Me too. Ready. New strap. We got this screening right here. We're gonna put it on right down there, staple it right at the corners to hold it in place. I didn't want to use metal actually, because metal will actually rust evidently, or like it's over time. I think this will work just a little bit better. And it's black on black, so that's always good. Let's get this started. Alright, it actually worked out pretty well. I guess my only... I don't think it should. Maybe I'll tape it also just to make sure that it stays in place and is secure when we put it on up, but it should work out really good. Next up on the list is we do have to wait for that paint to dry on those little PVC hangers, and then at that point we can install these bad boys right here, get them all in and secure, and that's pretty much all the fabrication that needs to be done on this end, and we can start putting them up, taking them out, and doing it, and then we can get on into customizing what the inside of the tank is going to be. So I'll be back as soon as that paint dries. Okay, boys and girls, it's been a little bit now. These things are looking pretty damn good. So the next step is going to be securing these PVC tubes onto here, and then we'll almost be done, except, well, we have three others to do. Let's get started. So pretty much here, I actually just have one tip for you guys. You see, this should have been a two-man job. I should have someone holding the pipes for me while I drilled it in. Actually, I had to go back and kind of undrill some of these to get the right space to get the 3 on there. So that's my only critique. Pretty much we're drilling into the wall. We're going to stack them, but I would actually have someone holding the pipes so you can get that real nice snug fit for all of them. But I got it on eventually. It just took some work. Looking really good. Excited for the next steps. Only have to do 3 more of these. That is fantastic. And that's pretty much going to be it for this part of it. So now we're gonna move this to the side, do the other 3, and at that point we'll get back into a little bit more customizing on the interior. This is all we need to do for the exterior of the enclosure. Don't forget, boys and girls, you always gotta clean up these pipes. These Home Depot places are pretty nasty and probably not animal safe, so we decided to wipe down the inside and the outside of all these just to make sure they were good. At this point, this is where I talked about a little bit earlier when we started setting it up. It became a little bit of a task, so I had to unscrew a little bit to give more leeway. Once they were all in, I screwed them back into place, so it was a nice snug fit, but they were all looking great. At this point, what we are going to be doing is I'm going to have these to roll. Those are the only 3 I had that I already cut that were pre-cut, so we're going to cut a little notch right here. And my God, boys and girls, now listen, your boy goes to the gym, and I've actually cut a lot of these 1-inch PVC pipes. Getting this 2-inch PVC cutter and getting it, this is a task. This is a work. I did not need to go to the gym today because I was cutting these things. This was a massive task to do, my God. A note, now this is really easy with like the smaller ones, like if you cut 1 inch of PVC, but cutting 2 inches, man, is it's a little much, man. I'm benching around 205 and this is it's a workout. Well, boys and girls, once again to Dakota's amazing measurement skills, it seems we are short on PVC. I'm missing 3 on this side, and then 1 on this side, and 1 on this side. So we will have to go back to the Home Depot once again to get another 12-foot long PVC tube to then cut up and finish this up. But for the most part, the video's done. I'll probably do that off camera. I'll get it finished, and then the next video, we're going to be taking all this stuff from the Tokay's enclosure to be finishing this, and then finally, man, after so long, I feel like it's been forever, we'll be pairing our Tokay geckos for the 2023 season. Once again, because the move and it messed. Wasn't enough Tokay content for you guys. I highly recommend this playlist right here that has over 40 Tokay videos, or maybe you want to watch this video that, well, actually has Tokay geckos in it. And then as always, boys and girls, thank you so much for taking the time in your day to follow us over here at Dakota Blue Exotics. I will see you guys next time, but until then, goodbye.